Good day, folks. This is Marius Landman, and this is a quick Bitcoin and Litecoin update. I'm going to go through Bitcoin and show you the 30-day Bitcoin cycle, and I'm going to show you what I see in Bitcoin for the next 30, 60, and 90 days. First of all, everything is good in the crypto world, but we have a tremendous slowdown in the Bitcoin price activity. On the screen you will see that I'm showing you here the Bitcoin 30-day cycle. If we take the cycle from 30 May to 1 July, August, September, October, November, December, and I even have the last one here at January going into February next year, 2020. Let's have a look here. Right at this top here, on that top here of 26 June, Bitcoin reached a high point of approximately $14,000. Since that time, here in June, the market went all the way down here, right here to this point here of 30 September 2019, where Bitcoin hit a low. That, guys, is the low point in Bitcoin. We are now in cycle number 3. And during the next 30 days, I'm going to show you what cycle 3 looks like. In my algorithm data, I show and I see 7 cycles. We are now in cycle number 3. So imagine the profit that you are going to make when we get and finish cycle 3, get into cycle 4, which will be a big downtrend. Then we're heading into cycle 5, where you are going to make an insane amount of money yet again. But let's focus now on cycle number 3. Here, right at that point there, 30 September 2019, Bitcoin dropped to the low. That completed cycle number 2. What I expect for Bitcoin is that we are going to break out upwards here in Bitcoin, right up to this level here of approximately 9.5 to 10,000. We could potentially break through and hit this level of 10,500. Pending that, we are going to have a drop, and I'm going to show you now why I think that there is going to be a drop back into this level of around about 8,082, maybe 8.5, somewhere in this blue box where my mouse is now. Now let's go back and let's have a look here at 30 May 2019. You will see, to save time, I drew all these arrows in before the time. Now this arrow here starts here on the bottom here, right at that high point there, and you can see that we had, by the end of that month, we had Bitcoin finishing at a high point. Then the next month, on that point there, you can see that Bitcoin went up, but it dropped. So the next month is a downtrend. The next month, the following month, which is August, look at this one, very interesting, guys. This one here was a uptrend, because look at that. Bitcoin almost completed a high point there. The next month here in this month of September, that is September, we had a downtrend right into that point there. And remember what we said on 30 September 2019, Bitcoin dropped to a low. Came up a little bit, but by the end of that month, that was a downtrend. Next, we are going to see an uptrend. And then here in this month of November, we are going to see a downtrend. In December, we are going to see an uptrend. Let me recap. This month here of June is an uptrend. This month here, July, a downtrend. August, an uptrend. September, a downtrend. The following month, October, I'm expecting an uptrend into this blue box as high as 10,500. We are most likely going to consolidate here at about 10,000. It's going to be pretty difficult for Bitcoin to break through this resistance line. See this yellow channel that I have here? It's going to have resistance there and break out downwards into this box. Let's go and put in a high point here. If I calculate this as the high point, the next low point is this point here. Look very carefully where I put the mouse. And I'm going to show you a little bit later what I mean with the ABCDE. Next, we had an uptrend. See there where B is? This one here is the downtrend where C is. D is most likely going to be there, and we are going to come down to this block here, which is E. Okay, so we've got an A, B, C, D, E. Guess what, guys? This is forming a perfect bullish flag pattern, but a humongous bull flag pattern over a period of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and potentially 6 months. 6 months, guys. This is incredible. Let me make this narrow and I'll show you what I am seeing here. If I take this from the bottom here, right up to that high point there, what do you see? Can you see what I am seeing? I'm seeing a very large bull flag. Then we head up into this point here, which is D, right up there. It may break out a little bit above that channel there to about 10.5 and then come back to 10. And then your last leg, I'm expecting, is going to come here and then a breakout. So can you see what I see here with a massive bull flag? Now, let's take this from the bottom here and we go straight up to that top there. A bull flag will normally, the flagpole, will break out the height of that flagpole. If we have a breakout approximately there, which is round about December, have a look at this, guys. Let me just move that out, and I'm going to put a price target in here. Look at that, guys. That is our initial target. Can you remember that we said that we are going to hit 19,666? Our algorithm data points to this as being the high point. As sure as I am doing this video, this is how sure I am that Bitcoin is going to hit 19,666. Nonetheless, let's forget about the dates. Remember, I've said forget about dates because dates are being used to manipulate the market. All we need to know is that Bitcoin is very, very close to breaking out upwards. What we are going to have first, guys, is that we're going to have this breakout here. That's going to be a fake breakout in cryptos, in my opinion. The market is then going to come down, and I'm going to show you what I see in Litecoin. Because to find the high point here and the date, we need to have a look at Litecoin. Regardless, guys, of any other crypto, Litecoin fundamentally is leading all cryptocurrencies by far. I hear so many people say that XRP is leading, or BNB is leading, or EOS, or Bitcoin Cash, or even Ethereum. It's not the case, guys. We need to look at Litecoin. Regardless of where we break out, we are going to hit this level here of 19,666. Just be patient. Now, remember this, guys. We are giving you this data that the elite, that the powers that be very careful about pushing our data out to the public or to social media. Keep this information extremely private, especially what I'm going to show you now in Litecoin. Litecoin is the major leading top indicator, followed by BNB, which is a moving indicator. Now, if you look at BNB, let's quickly go to BNB here. You'll see that BNB on 26 September 2019 created this low point here. And we said that as long as it's holding its stance just above that Python y-axis and then break out, that's a good sign for all altcoins across the world. And look what happened, guys, here. Exactly on 7 October to 9 October, as we predicted, the markets broke out. And BNB, which is our leading indicator, is moving upwards. Soon it's going to break this technical indicator. It's also going to break this, the 2B algorithm indicator. It's going to break through all these indicators like a knife through butter. Let me go back here to Litecoin, and I'm going to show you now the 30-day cycle for Litecoin. As you can see here, right on the bottom here, Litecoin moved up here from about 13, 14, 15 December. That's when we recommended that we get into Litecoin, when Litecoin was about $22, and it went up about 450% right to that top. Now, over the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, you can see that Litecoin was on the top there. And it went all the way down. Look at this blue arrow that I've got there. So it went up here. And instead, it made a different drop than what Bitcoin did. Remember, Bitcoin went down and up, down and up. With Litecoin, we saw a downtrend. Down, okay, another arrow down for the next month. So we effectively get July, which is a down month. We get August, which is a down month. And then what happened here is that we got into September and Litecoin started to lead the pack. Right at this point here, and I want you to pay very close attention and make a note of this. This high point here of about 4 August is a very, very important high point. And this is also this point here on the right hand side, which is 107 Litecoin. Now have a look here. Have a look here where we see that Litecoin drop down here. Now it's gone sideways. And what we now are going to see here in October is that Litecoin is going to break out. Now guys, it's going to break all these indicators. It's going to break and slice through those indicators and go straight up to this level here, which is about 107. And we're going to get into the details of that a little bit later. At this high point here, when we get into November, I expect Litecoin to drop slightly. It can even drop as low as this figure here, which is, let me just put that mark there. I'm just going to clone this, which is around about the level of about $65. Keep that in mind. But when we get there, I am going to present new videos and new data that will give you direction of where the market is going to go. For now, all you need to remember is that in this month, we are going to have a breakout. And I'm going to show you on another chart with Litecoin how I see this playing out. So we expect the market to go up, form a high top here at about maximum 107 to 120. Then a drop, then a sideways move. So we're going to go sideways. And again, guys, we do not know how many days we are going to go sideways. They are using the dates and timelines to distort information in cryptocurrencies. What happens is that people don't have patience. They sell out, they move their cryptos back into fiat, and they're locked up in the system forever. Because if you stay in the system, remember this, you have to work 2 and 3 jobs. You have to go to work to pay your bills. What you want to do is to stay in the market, make profit, and get financially free. Do everything possible that you can do to break free from the shackles of debt. You must become free, guys. And this is a vehicle that we are using, the cryptocurrency industry, this financial system, if we can call it a financial system, the cryptocurrency system is going to make the most multi-millionaires ever in the history of the world. It's only slow down, but don't let a slowdown in price affect your decision and also affect your memory or your attitude. You stay positive, you run the game, you run it strong. I tell you guys now, there's going to be 7 cycles, not 5 cycles, 7. We have identified 2 extra cycles. This year, guys, this cycle here, this whole cycle here, that is cycle number 2. So in effect, if you look at this, this is cycle number 1. It's complete. Cycle number 2 is this cycle. Complete, guys. It completed on 26 September. Now the next cycle is that cycle. It's cycle number 3. Remember in the beginning of the year, I came out and I said that we're going to have 5 cycles. There's now an extra 2 cycles. Let's get into Litecoin. This is the last section of this video and you're going to be amazed with what you see here. Now, first of all, guys, stop this video if there's too much information on the screen. I'm going to go through the left to the right hand side. I'm going to try and explain everything for you. Very important here on the left hand side, this date here. Remember what I said, the date of 4 August. This one here in the green circle is a very important date. That gives us the timeline or the price line of $107 Litecoin. Then we've got this one here, which is $91.50. Then the third high point is this one of $80.50. Now remember, we got into a high point there. We had this drop here, which we predicted that it will happen. Remember, we had about 1,000 people. We maxed out on Zoom. It can only handle 1,000 people. And we predicted that drop. we had this uptrend here. We had another little drop that took Litecoin to $50. Remember, guys, that $50 is something that we predicted. Go back and have a look at blog post number 100, and you'll see that the pattern showed that we are heading down into $50 Litecoin. Spot on call. What was wrong is the date and the timeline. And remember what I say, and I'm saying it again, guys. Do not look at dates. Dates are deliberately being distorted to make you lose faith in cryptocurrencies. There's nothing more they can use. Price is moving upwards. They can't control the price. All they can do is dragging it all out to make people impatient and get people to sell out. Okay, I've said that enough times. You know that. This is a time to buy, guys. It's not a time to sell. Now, let's go here to this drop here that we had. And you can see here that we have a bearish pennant. And remember, this is where I came out and said, although it's a bearish pennant, and a bearish pennant means that the market is going to drop. And we came out and said, no, we don't see a drop in our algorithm. We see a move upwards. And between 7 and 9 October, the market broke out just there. And we've got a bit of a drop here. And overnight, or remember in the last hour or so, let me just make this a little bit bigger. Remember, we were talking about this flash drop. And if you go back to blog post number 135, you will see there that I said that I am placing my orders on 55. And you'll see here that we're right now there at 55. That, guys, is your flash drop. Together with all that, right down to that level there, that's your flash drop. Now, some of you that filled your orders, that's great if you filled them. Now, remember what I'm saying here again. This should have dropped down. It didn't. It got stopped here. Then it went out, and there guys, exactly at that point here is the breakout that we had above that bearish triangle. Very, very good and a positive sign. The market came down. We've got that little bit of a drop here. Expect the markets now to move up, and I'm expecting that the markets could go up here to about 60, maybe about 61, somewhere around there. We are going to potentially see one more flash drop before the market breaks out upwards. So remember this, guys. We could potentially see one more flash drop. It's kind of like a tantrum. I call it the Litecoin tantrum. Because the market makers, the elite, the thugs, they want Litecoin to drop. They won't be able to do it. So remember, do not be surprised if you see one more drop. Not as low as this one, maybe to that level there. Let me just put a figure in here. I expect that we could come down to about 54, maybe again 55, but we could potentially have a second drop. Remember this, stop this video so you can make sure that you understand what I say. The market could potentially go up here to about 61, 62, have a big drop down. If you see a second drop, the market is going to break out big time, guys. Now, let's show you what I see. Remember on the webinar last week, Friday, I said that there's a probability that we are going to break upwards into two levels. I've now created these two levels. Have a look at this. This is actually, guys, a bearish rising wedge. What happens in a bearish rising wedge? When the market breaks out and it forms its triangle there, the market then drops. I see Litecoin breaking out either to this level here of $80. If we break this $80, there's a big probability that we are going to go to 107 and if not, to about 120 Litecoin. Think about this now for a second. Now remember I said to you there are three very important points, high points that you need to look at. This is this point here of 18 September 2019. Please make a note of that. If we break this level here, this means that Litecoin has to come through the Python y-axis, through the 2B algorithm, and through the 3B algorithm. Very strong upwards move. If this happens, guys, then it's going to go higher. Because if it breaks that level and head into this high point here of $80, it's definitely going to break higher. Because above that is very little resistance. This here is your major resistance. You can see they're all coming down to a point. And this is why I say that in this week, we are potentially going to have a nice breakout. The second point to watch, guys, is this $91.50. If we break this high point here of $91.50, the market could potentially go higher into this green box. Now remember, this could be the high, okay? So that could be the high, meaning this black line here that you see here, that could be the high point. So we move that arrow down. So what I'm saying to you guys, there are three high points to watch. First, number one, $80.50. If we break that, there's a big probability we are going to go to $91.50. If we break that, there's a big probability that we are going to go and land in this green box. If we land anywhere in that green box, this is a sign where you need to exit some of your altcoins. You limit your exposure on cryptos. Now remember, this video is only for training and education purposes. I'm not giving you financial advice. What I can tell you is this high point here is going to be most likely a fake breakout. What then happens is that the market comes back down into this blue box. And have a look and see where this blue box is. You'll see that this low point here is $59 or $60. And this high point here is going to be about $70. So we could see Litecoin go up and down in this box before it breaks out. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you now what I see in cryptocurrencies and how it could potentially play out. So to do that, I'm going to take this brush. So let's say we go up here, we come down for a second, let's say a flash drop. We go up here and it's going to do one of two things. I am expecting that the market could have a very severe, extremely good, unexpected breakout. And I'm expecting that it will go right up into this box here. It's going to form a king's crown. This is just something that we use in algorithm data. It's not a technical indicator, it's just a king's crown. From there onward, that king's crown is going to drop back into this level, most likely here. It could shoot up again, guys, to this level here, have another one there, a king's crown, a smaller one, and drop completely back like a rock into this level. And then we could potentially stay on the bottom here with a breakout coming here. And guess what, guys? That will be the 1000% rise that I've been talking about. So if you take into account this pattern, that is what we are going to see in the algorithm cycle. This is the start, guys, of cycle 3. Now keep in mind that I've been talking about this heartbeat. This heartbeat is still in the works. And we could see a spike up, a spike down, a spike up, and a spike down sideways, and then a spike upwards again. Guys, the heartbeat is fully intact. It started round about here, at this point here of 11 August. It went all the way down sideways, and I'm expecting that spike upwards. If we do not have a big spike upwards here, we are going to see a gradual upwards move. But I am more inclined to believe, if I look at my algorithm data, that we are going to have a spike upwards. So keep that in mind, guys. Okay, let's recap quickly and go back to Bitcoin. Remember what I said here with Bitcoin. Now that you've seen Litecoin, let's go back to Bitcoin, because you now know what Litecoin is expected to do. Now let's go here and take the same brush. There is a big probability that Bitcoin here could spike upwards like this. Come back here, play a little bit of a rigmarole up there, then come back into this channel here, go up and down, and form a low point here, go sideways here, okay, and then break out here in December, right up here to that point there, guys, that we said, this point here, where it's going to head into 19,666 to that point there. So this is how I see Bitcoin play out. Okay, so you may want to limit your exposure when we get there to 10,000. Remember, I said that when Bitcoin reaches 10 and a half, I'm selling all my Bitcoin. Because remember this, guys, when Bitcoin breaks out here, you can make 100% gain here. Okay, let me just quickly explain that. Let me just take this. When Bitcoin breaks out here, look at this now. From this level here to about this level here, let's say at about 10,000 there, you're going to see that you could potentially make 100% gain from about $10,000. Now, when Litecoin moves, mark my words, guys, when Litecoin moves, it's going to be so quick and violent. Now remember here, this breakout here, let's just delete that quickly. Okay, when Litecoin eventually moves, wherever that's going to be, guys, you're going to see a violent move breaking the $140, and it's going to go to $450 so quick that if you wink, you're going to miss the spike. Again, guys, I'm saying this again, that Litecoin is going to go to $450. I believe it could do that here at the end of December, or perhaps into the third week of January 2020. And from there onwards, guys, once we have this big spike into 450, and remember, this can happen over a period of 2, 3, 4, 5 days, a week, where it reaches that point. When it hits that point, there's nothing stopping it. It's going to go to insane highs. Now, one other thing that I just quickly want to mention, guys, look here at the bottom. Here right at the bottom where we had this flash drop today, okay, that is where we buy. Now guess what? The elite, the establishment, the people that manipulate Litecoin and cryptocurrencies, that is where they buy, right here at the bottom. Do not buy this spike because you will lose. What we are going to do, we sell on the top. We do what the elite do. They are buying on the bottom, they are selling on the top. Now we are going to follow what they do. I've got some inside information that will lead to that effect. So in any case, guys, this is the end of the presentation. Remember here, we buy on the bottom, we sell on the top. This is the end of the presentation. Thank you very much. Good luck. May you be blessed. And we keep following blog post number 135. Thank you, everybody.